It's Mock Draft Monday, where you get to vilify, crucify, criticize, and scrutinize my mock draft. This is a 2-rounder. Oh boy, what a treat. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Before we get into it, we got plenty of Senior Bowl content on the way this week, as well as some Shrine Bowl content. I might make just one video for the Shrine Bowl, and then maybe recap the game. And I'm still getting around to the NFLPA stuff, so give me some time. I got the Patreon. I'm gonna add a new tier for those that don't want, that just want kind of like the draft information, or the Google Doc where I have all my draft evals and whatnot. So that's gonna be in motion. Give me some time. But it is also the best way to support the channel. It helps me keep doing what I do so I can continue to bring content to you. Thank you. Check out the merch too. The merch is pretty dope on Teesprings. Or you could just, what is it? Broshmoshop.com, something like that. I don't know. It's in the description. Check it out. So let's take a look at the first 2 picks. That's right. We're going to run through. It's 2 rounds. Bam! So Evan Neal. Evan Neal for me is currently kind of my, this is where I think the Jags should go. Again, this is always forever changing. As a person, a human being, you are allowed to change your opinion and change your choice and change your decision. Oh, at least until draft time. But I just think, hey, let's get T-Law some protection. Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, they're phenomenal prospects, but it is an edge-deep draft. Maybe you just take a swing on that in the second round. And then that just allows Detroit to take the best player on the board, KT. They get the hometown boy. Did I say KT? Aiden Hutchinson. But I mean, that's the thing. Him and KT, they're like kind of for everybody 1A and 1B. Real quick, special thanks to today's sponsor, TPPN. If you're going to be betting on DraftKings, go ahead and use their promo code. Matter of fact, DraftKings, for the big game, baby, they're offering 56-1 odds for new customers. As long as your team wins, all you have to do is bet $5 and you could win $280 in free bets. Again, as long as that team is victorious. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you still have something to play for during the big game. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN and get 56-1 odds on any football team. Well, not any football team, just 2. This point, but just bet $5. You'll get 280 in free bets if your team wins. Use that promo code BABY. DraftKings Sportsbook, it's an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 years or older. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions may apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the video, baby. Going to the Houston Texans. Gotta watch out because my scroll finger is strong. They go KT. I really thought about maybe going with Ikem Ekwonu for this pick. It's like, okay, maybe if Laramie Tunsil is going to be traded this offseason potentially, maybe they do go in that direction. But I'm going to still stick with KT. He's the next best player on my board. It's Houston, you're in this predicament where you just need to bring in the best talent possible. But I think Ikem Ekwonu is an interesting choice. I've seen Kyle Hamilton there as well, but I think you want to hit a more valuable position. And then on to the New York Jets. They, in fact, go Ikem Ekwonu. Fast rising up boards. I think Charles Cross might be the better fit. But again, with offensive line, I'm going to admit it's one of my least confident evals, and when it comes to guys who would typically fit this scheme, just kind of like opening it up my mind to maybe a guy that's more of this inside zone, or at least coming from an inside zone heavy scheme. It's like, okay, he can get upfield fast, like he does have that explosiveness, on the line, where while I may not think maybe laterally he could be all that, I definitely could, if they consider him a better prospect, then go ahead and take him. So, yeah, we did that. Joe Douglas loved them trenches. Giants, this one's easy. Offensive line, we're going Charles Cross. There's a chance if we don't take him here, the Panthers take him with the next pick. So we went ahead, grabbed him. The O-line sucks. John Mara said, hey, we're going to be addressing the O-line. We're going to give Daniel Jones a chance, an opportunity, a shot. That means we need to address the offensive line. So I think that's something they're going to be heavily targeting. And then the Carolina Panthers, you know what? I get it. Quarterback, it's a bit rich, but I mean, you kind of get your pick of the gander. There's no other quarterback no other quarterback is gone yet. You get your choice. Do you think there's a guy in this class that's better than what you have right now in Sam Darnold? Then go ahead and get it. But I've done that for the last couple of weeks. Let's experiment with maybe a different scenario. Maybe they're like, you know what? Ideally, it would be nice to trade down from the Panthers pick, but good luck finding suitors. Who's trading up for what? You know? So I just went ahead, took best player on the board, and I'm scrolling the wrong way. There we go. Kyle Hamilton for the Carolina Panthers. It might be like, there's positions with more value. We have bigger needs. Listen, this is a predicament you're in, man. If you're not satisfied with one of the quarterbacks, offensive line's kind of off the offensive line is kind of off the board. If you want to go to Tyler Linderbaum, I think that's also a possibility. That's something I did actually in my, I think, 7-round mock with Carolina. But let's go the other way. Let's just take best player available. We're going Kyle Hamilton. And then, again, I really think the Giants' stress in O-line means if they have a chance, they will go. They could double dip with the offensive line. Because, I mean, hey, you get 2 shots inside the top 10, and you hope at least one of those guys work out. So we're going to go with Tyler Linderbaum. I really like the idea of that. Atlanta Falcons, interesting predicament. Is this a place where the quarterback could come off the board? I don't think so. Not in this class. Said, I think the 3 positions you're looking at here are edge, corner, wide receiver. So if I'm going to stick to best player on the board, I'm going to go with Derek Stingley with this pick. George Karlaftis, close second. And it really depends on, man, like one of the receivers, like how good do you feel about taking maybe Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Treylon Burks at that pick? How confident do you feel about that, you know? So we went with Derek Stingley, him and A.J. Terrell. They're going to make beautiful coverage together. And then, listen, I did one trade in this whole thing because Bronco fans keep giving me crap that they're not going quarterback because they're likely going to make a trade for a quarterback, which means everyone knows Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of the hot name in Denver. So if they do make that trade, then they won't have this first round pick. So that's what we did. We went ahead, did the Aaron Rodgers trade. Only trade I did in the whole thing, so don't be looking for any other ones. Just because this pick definitely feels like a good trade if they make a move on the quarterback trade market. But 2 first rounds, so this year, next year, and then one of their second rounders this year, followed by a third in the following year. That was the trade. And at this pick for the Green Bay Packers, I took Drake London because I don't think Devontae Adams is coming back. If Aaron Rodgers goes, I think Devontae goes with him. So getting Drake London, who is a very similar prospect, just play style altogether, as a Devontae Adams, address the receiver. You've neglected it so long, and now you're losing probably one of, if not the best receivers in football. Kind of sucks. Sucks to suck. Though Green Bay has played pretty darn well. Wish you could draft well. That's not true. They're all right. They're okay. New York Jets. At this point, George Karlaftis just looks meaty. I'm going to take him here. Joe Douglas loves his trenches. Other options. Receiver. We could jump on the receiver class. But instead, I just went ahead, grabbed Karlaftis. It's just great value. You're getting 2 top 10 players. You love it. So first quarterback is coming off the board with the Washington football team's pick, going Sam Howell. He is my top quarterback currently. We'll see how he fares this week at the Senior Bowl. Measurements, excuse me, kind of hit a high note there. The measurements looked all right. Like, it was weird. A lot of these guys are just 6 foot, which I know, I mean, size ain't everything. I should know. But still, you look at like Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, Carson Strong, those guys measured out at 6'3" plus. So, I don't know. I still like Sam Howell. I think his arm talent is very similar to Russell Wilson. Everyone makes the Baker Mayfield comp. I think it's stupid. I think it's just not correct. How they throw the ball is very opposite. Baker, he loves velocity, doesn't know how to lay off the mustard, while Sam Howell got some touch them balls. I don't know why I said it that way. Minnesota Vikings, I went with Ahmad Gardner. Listen, cornerback room, it sucks. We're addressing it here. It's probably one of the worst in football. Cleveland Browns going Garrett Wilson with Jarvis Landry, likely not going to be on the squad. Sounds like he might get traded or maybe a cap casualty. Garrett Wilson, I like this pick even before hearing all the Landry Jones. Why did I say Landry Jones? Jarvis Landry. There we go. Landry Jones. He played for the Steelers and Oklahoma. Has no relation to Jarvis Landry whatsoever. But even before that, I like the idea of receiver here. Give Baker all the weapons you possibly can. You already got him on the 5th-year option. Don't give him an excuse to fail, outside of injury, of course, like he was this year. Baltimore Ravens, I was talking in the comment section to a fellow, and he was like, yo, Baltimore, they did hire the DC from Michigan. So I'm going David Ajabo. Because at first I was critical in one of my mocks of the David Ajabo pick. And okay, maybe this is connecting dots and not necessarily don't go together. Maybe you pull like a Pete Carroll and be like, oh, sorry, Taylor Mays. Ta-ta. I'm going to take Earl Thomas instead. So it could go that way, but David Ajabo is a very, very nice pick. Adding some more pass rush to that squad. I think the NFL is going to love him. Explosive, lengthy. Played with Odafe Owe in high school. So, yeah. Let's go over both of Philadelphia's picks. So here, I went Andrew Booth Jr., obvious reasons, get some more youth and competition there at the corner position. And then Devin Lloyd, listen, linebacker position, it's not good. And he's a really good scheme fit for y'all. I was thinking about Treylon Burks here, but I wasn't positive that we could have got Devin Lloyd with the 19th pick. Maybe a team like the Chargers would go Devin Lloyd. Or even Treylon Burks. That was the thing, dude. It was kind of a toss-up. And I really don't know how I feel about Nakobe Dean in this scheme. I just love Devin Lloyd a lot better for Jonathan Gannon? Gannon. Defensive coordinator Gannon. Let's just call him that. DC Gannon. So, rolled the dice. The Chargers, though, I ended up going Trent McDuffie, getting help for the secondary. Kenyon Green was actually the other thought I had here, adding him to the line where he saw a lot of success on the right side of the line this year. Started the year at right tackle, looked really good. And then right guard, he played a few times this year as well. So just having that experience and just getting better on the right side, I thought was nice. Could have been nice, but I went with Trent McDuffie solely because he was higher on my board. New Orleans Saints, I have since Sean Payton left, I'm going quarterback. I went with Kenny Pickett. I know receivers there for the taking, but listen, I don't know, man. This may feel like a rebuild. Maybe even if they bring Jameis back for one more year, I mean, they might have like the cap space to bring in like a Derek Carr who has a very team friendly deal. I don't know if that really will be the case. So maybe they do go out and maybe grab an heir apparent and kind of start like a not a full rebuild, but like kind of this halfway rebuild, at least offensively. So this allows them to hold on to picks and maybe address receiver in the second round. So yeah. Treylon Burks made it to the Eagles. Sounds like there's word they're interested in DJ Chark. So a nice, tall, speedy receiver. Well, look at that. Treylon Burks, a nice, tall, physical, speedy receiver. Pittsburgh Steelers, didn't know how I felt about, because the next two quarterbacks on the board for the Steelers, right, are Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder. Those are my next two guys. Desmond Ridder I like better in the second round, but I feel like it's a weird predicament. Maybe for the Steelers we get lucky in the second round and grab one of the guys falling that may fall to us. Maybe like a Carson Strong, depending on how knee issues. Maybe Desmond Ridder falls. Matt Corral, I'm not that high on him, so it's like he'll probably be there for us. So I went instead Kenyon Green, improving the line, improve the pass protection, improve the run blocking. Let's give Najee some legitimate space to work with. And then the New England Patriots, I went with Chris Olave. I like the idea of getting this nice speedster who's also a very good route runner who has shown very reliable hands. Just gets separation for days. I think that's great for Mac Jones. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, if he's available here, I like the idea of replacing Henry Ruggs with another Alabama speedster in Jameson Williams. The ACL injury, I think it hurts his stock a little bit, but I don't think nearly enough to knock him out of the first round altogether. Honestly, I'd be willing to contemplate him at other picks. And then the Arizona Cardinals, I really was thinking corner, like Kyer Elam, Robert McCreary were the kind of like the other two options here that I was kind of considering. But I was like, maybe we could grab that in the second round. Maybe it's something they address at free agency. Because I really think the secondary does need, or at least the corner position needs some competition added to it. But outside of that, I really do like the idea of Jordan Davis. This is kind of like, I like starting to think about Jordan Davis after like pick 20. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm willing to take a shot on this guy. Even if he doesn't develop as a pass rusher, you got a phenomenal run stuffer there. Corey Peters, he's up there in age, and really Liki Fotu and was it Rashard Lawrence? Regardless, those guys really haven't developed into like a true like potential like zero tech, So Dallas Cowboys, Nagopi Dean. I forgot who suggested this, but I really like the idea of that. I mean, you got Van Der Esch and you got Keanu Neal. Both those guys are free agents. You do get Jabril Cox back because we love Cox here, baby. I was a big fan of Cox last year. Still doesn't roll off the tongue well. But Nakobe Dean, man, I really like the idea of like bringing him in. If you want to kick Micah Parsons to edge occasionally, like bringing in Jabril, you have Nakobe Dean. Those are two very good linebackers in coverage. So yeah, no, it's kind of fun. I like this. For the Buffalo Bills, I stuck with corner, especially Levi Wallace. He is a free agent, so now you only have Dane Jackson on the outside across from Tre'Davious White. So I went with Kyrie Elam. I think he's gonna test out well. Like he's got the length. He had a bit of a down year. A lot of that was on penalties, but prior 2 seasons there at Florida were phenomenal. So grabbing him here. And then Tennessee Titans, I'm not coming off this pick right now. If Malik Willis is here, Derrick Henry, Malik Willis, you got Ryan Tannehill, you got to stick with them at least for another year. So have Malik Willis just kind of sit there and be like, just develop there in the wings. And then you have probably the scariest Russian tandem in football. And then, by the way, the guy, he's got a legit arm. I think a lot of Titans fans are a bit harsh when it comes to the offensive line. I think they got some good parts there. And while, yes, you could upgrade it, I still think it's a lot better than half the league. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tom Brady's coming back. I'm sorry, I just do. And if he is, he's gonna want a separator, especially with no AB and potentially no Chris Godwin. So Jahan Dotson just seems like one of these easy picks to chalk in. And then this is the Packers' next pick. They get David Bakhtiari back healthy next season. So let's look at the other tackle spot, because Dennis Kelly, he's more of a stopgap option. Do we really have to talk about who is it there? Billy Turner, something. So I went with Bernhard Raimann. I think he's gonna look beautiful at the Senior Bowl this week. Mark my words. Haven't checked out measurements yet. Hopefully he measures out well. But it looks like he should. He's tall. He should have a great wingspan. But yeah, we're grabbing him here to be the right tackle, maybe even left tackle of the future. You know, if injuries go down, man. If injuries go down. It's nice to have that depth on the offensive line. Let's just help Jordan Love make his job easier. Because in this scenario, Aaron Rodgers was traded, by the way. All right, my Dolphins. I'm not going offensive line. I'm going George Pickens. I did this with Jess Central the other day. Actually, he drafted for the Dolphins and took George Pickens, and I was like, man, you know what? I'd be willing to take George Pickens the first round. This guy's a fierce competitor. I really wish Georgia, once they brought him back, they didn't limit him so much. But this guy's got prototypical wide receiver size. We've seen the outstanding catches. We've seen the good hands. I'm willing to take him to be the running mate with Jalen Waddle for the future. And, I mean, yeah, they got Devontae Parker there too, but he's fine. Kansas City Chiefs, they like big, meaty, athletic boys at edge, and we're going to get one here in Travon Walker. They could bring back Melvin Ingram for another year, develop Walker. I mean, they got Frank Clark, but, you know, he's so inconsistent. He's real streaky. And plus, Melvin Ingram, he's an older player. You don't know when. You don't know if when that play will hit a decline. Like, again, he's been wonderful this year. He's a big reason. I would say he is the reason that team's been getting pressure, why they've been so hot. Chris Jones being able to kick back to the inside. It's important. So, yeah, just keep adding to that position, because Frank Clark ain't that good. Cincinnati Bengals, I went Trevor Penning. I really feel like offensive line is by far the biggest need. That right tackle spot, Riley Reif, he's a free agent. Isaiah Prince was getting mollywopped. Speaking of Melvin Ingram, he had Isaiah Prince's lunch that game. So Trevor Penning, a guy that, I didn't even scroll down. I got to remember to do that. Trevor Penning, a guy that hopefully can be our right tackle to the future, or you can even play him on the left, because Jonah Williams can play both sides. Lions fans, hear me out. You're picking 32. And I think it's smart. Like, I think you got a pretty sure thing in Aiden Hutchinson. So let's swing for the fences. This guy's going to have a 5th-year option. This is probably the first time I've put him in here. Desmond Ridder in the first round. We got there. Listen, quarterbacks, they get overdrafted, and for good reason, because it's the most important position on a roster. Desmond Ridder, he has shined at bits this season. While, yes, he could be wildly inaccurate at times, I think with a solid Senior Bowl, he could kind of cement this, like, okay, he could be a first rounder, because, like, dude can make special throws. He made a few of those in the Alabama game that ended up turning to drops. Like, I remember a lot of people were real harsh about him after the Alabama game, while I was like, I came away more impressed, you know? Because I'm just not a big Ridder guy. But you get the 5th-year option. You get to develop him behind Jared Goff. Why not swing for the fences here? Why not? All right, start the second round. Let's roll through these picks. Jacksonville Jaguars. I went with DeMarvin Leal. He feels too good to be left out of the first round, but I really think it's going to take a big combine from him to really put himself back into that first round conversation. But he'd be a good fit here. The Jags, they weren't really getting a lot of interior pressure last year, so throwing him at the 5 tech, I guess a lot of this is, will they be running the same defense next year? So assuming so, I think he'd be a good fit there. Detroit Lions, I ain't forget about y'all. Next pick, I went with Daxton Hill, a guy that could play the slot. He could be that rangy, deep safety. Dude's real good. And then the New York Jets, I really wanted to dress corner because I think you need to keep adding you got parts in the corner position. Like Michael Carter in the slot, that's encouraging moving forward. Bryce Hall, very encouraging. Like that dude's going to be a solid at least corner 2, if not corner 1. So I was like, let me grab someone who could fit the scheme, who's also got a ridiculous build, very athletic, that's going to test out well, could sneak it. I'm not going to lie to y'all, could sneak in the first round. I went with Kyler Gordon, man. I think he is all that in a bag of chips, and he's got size. That's something you don't have in the other guys, and Jalvin Gildry and Brandon Equals. So grabbed him there. New York Giants pass rush. Man, your pass rush, it needs some work. Grabbing Myjah Sanders. He's very familiar with the scheme that they run there in New York. Dude's explosive. He's got length. He showed a bit more in terms of pass rush and tools this year. So, yeah, I think another dude that could sneak into the first round. And then the Houston Texans, I went with the corner position. Since we went with edge, I felt it was right to go corner because that defense is really just lacking talent altogether. So I grabbed Roger McCreary. He's got good size, good length, been very productive throughout his Auburn career. New York Jets back on the clock. I considered linebacker here, but felt a bit early. Instead, I wanted to continue addressing the offense, especially if this team wants to run the ball more. Grabbing a guy who's not just a good receiver, but a good run blocker, I thought would be key. So I grabbed Trey McBride. Also, a receiver. Like the next guys on my board here are like Wan'Dale Robinson, Sky Moore, David Bell. And I just didn't feel great about any of those options. I thought Trey McBride would be a good addition to the squad. And then Chicago Bears, again, I don't feel good about any of the receiving options paired up next to Darnell Mooney. I just have them a little bit lower down my board. So instead, I addressed the interior with Zion Johnson. If they bring back is it James Daniels or Daniel James? It's James Daniels. If they bring him back, he's probably slotted to move to center. So Zion Johnson, they're playing left guard or right guard, excuse me. So yeah, he's probably one of the top guard prospects in this class. The Packers, this is their pick via the Broncos. Let's get someone next to Kenny Clark. I went with Devontae Wyatt, phenomenal run stuffer. Dude's stupid explosive. You could go back in any video I talk about this cat, and it's just glowing remarks. I always bring up the Arkansas game, the first drive. It's a beautiful thing. Seattle Seahawks. Let's get Russ help. I went with Daniel Falele. I think that's how you say his name, by the way. I've been saying that for the last year, so I guess I'll find out. But someone who could come in, maybe immediately challenge Brandon Shell at right tackle, or maybe you could slot him into guard early. Maybe not. I think he came in 6'7", 380 at the Senior Bowl. I don't know. I saw tweets, but it's really more so maybe the potential heir apparent to Dwayne Brown. And then Washington, you need a safety. I know he ain't a free ranger, but Juwan Brisker, he's a guy that this year he did not let guys beat him deep. He's a very smart, very savvy. He knows, not to say he's athletically limited. He's not. He's just, I wouldn't say he's a center fielder. You know, he doesn't have that range. But underneath, he eats everything up. Atlanta Falcons, I talked about your pass rush being bad. I got an explosive option in Drake Jackson. He's got length. He's got explosion. His high-end reps are among the best in this class. Consistency, it was better this year, but still, it's a very crowded class, so that's why he gets bumped down here. But I think that's a solid pick. And then for the Cleveland Browns, Arnold Ebiketie. I actually have Arnold Ebiketie ranked higher than a few of these edge talent, but just none of the other teams felt like right fits. The Browns here feels like a great fit across from Myles Garrett. And then the Baltimore Ravens, we're addressing that offensive line. I got Darian Kennard. This is about where I have him on my big board. And I like him here. He can come in, he can play guard, he can be right tackle. Let's see. Not Chicago. Minnesota Vikings. Edge could be a concern. Is there going to be a fire sale going on in Minnesota? Is Hunter potentially gone? Everson Griffin doesn't feel like he's coming back. And then you're left with DJ Wonnum, who's more of a rotation player in my opinion, and Patrick Jones, who I was never even high on. So I went with the guy I'm exceptionally high on, Kingsley Enagbare. He's not nearly as athletic or explosive as some of the other edge talent. I think that's why he'll probably fall down boards. But the dude is so physical, so violent, so strong. I think he'd be a good, how would you say, a good counterpart to Hunter if he is still on the team after the season. Indianapolis Colts, we're going quarterback. You know what? I'm going Carson Strong. I'm hoping everything checks out good with the knee. I was talking to somebody on in the comments, and they were talking to me about how the injury may not be nearly as serious as what people thought. Oh, excuse me. And I'll go do my own research on it, see how, if it's like a degenerative knee thing, then that's very concerning. But we know the arm talent is there. He's not quite as mobile as some of the other quarterbacks in this class, but when you're behind one of the best offensive lines in football, you probably don't need to be. So we grabbed Strong here for the Colts. And then the Los Angeles Chargers, I grabbed some help at the pass rushing position because Joey Bosa, you can't do it on your own, bud. So I grabbed Cameron Thomas, baby. There we go. The Aiden Hutchinson of the Mountain West is what I hear they call him. And then the New Orleans Saints, I got to get my boy Kenny Pickett a weapon. And I think Wan'Dale Robinson would be super fun. This guy can stretch the field, but also what he could do after the catch can be special. So, grabbed him here. Miami Dolphins, I'm just grabbing playmakers. I want Kenneth Walker. Let's be honest, running back, we're going to probably see at least 2 running backs go in the second round, if not more. That's just how the NFL is. So, Kenneth Walker, I think he'll probably get taken a little earlier than this. Just judging where Javonte Williams went, I would say Kenneth Walker is a similar prospect to that vein. But so he'll probably go a little higher than this, but he's available here for Miami, so why not? We took him. Again, I'm really hoping the Dolphins invest in free agency on the offensive line. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles back on the clock, so I grabbed that edge I was unable to get in the first round in Jermaine Johnson, dude. This is a good draft. This is there's some good players fall down the draft all the time, and he's here. It's great. Don't question it. Again, how we all rank this edge class, it's going to be vastly different, so it's gonna be very interesting. But Jermaine Johnson ends up falling here to 51. Pittsburgh Steelers, what did I say, dude? Let a quarterback fall to you, just like y'all did with Mason Rudolph. I know that didn't work out, but Matt Corral's here, so went ahead and took him. I'm not high on Matt Corral. If you're not new to the channel, or if you are new to the channel, listen, I think he's kind of an RPO monster. While I think he's got a good arm, I don't think he's nearly as accurate downfield as some of the other guys in this class. I think, again, this is a guy that once he's asked to come off his first read, Like we talk about, man, he's got some real escapability. Yeah, because when his first read is like covered, he's kind of done. He's like, oh crap. Like we saw in the Alabama game. To be fair, he was getting pressured like a mother, but is what it is. I do like Matt Corral. I'm not saying he can't make it. I'm just saying I'm willing to bet on the other quarterbacks in this class. Las Vegas Raiders, great fit here in Martin Emerson. Grabbing that corner, you got Casey Hayward as a free agent. So we went ahead, grabbed Martin Emerson, who is already has a very deep knowledge of various zone defenses. The Raiders very zone heavy there with in the Gus Bradley defense. So I like the idea of grabbing Martin Emerson. And then the New England Patriots. I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this, Patriots fans. I went Christian Harris. He wasn't necessarily my next linebacker up on the board, but I think he's the most similar to Dante Hightower, where he could be a ridiculous blitzer. He's a guy that can really stuff the middle. He's got crazy speed, good length. So, yeah, we grabbed him here, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. You tell me. Because the athletic upside is bonkers. We saw the Georgia game, so. Arizona Cardinals. Wasn't a corner I was kind of happy about taking here. So I just went with Breece Hall since both your running backs are free agents, and maybe you could bring back Chase Edmonds for a reasonable price. I think James Conner is going to get a decent payday, and I wouldn't be willing to pay that. Just going to say that. For the Dallas Cowboys, I grabbed a player that could immediately come in and be a replacement for, is it Connor Williams or Connor McGovern? I know they got both. I can't recall. One's a penalty nightmare at left guard. But regardless, I grabbed a guy that can immediately start at left guard and maybe be your heir apparent at left tackle in Sean Ryan. I like him out of UCLA a lot. Buffalo Bills. I'm looking ahead because to me, Tremaine Edmonds, he ain't the guy at linebacker, but I kept with a wonderful athlete in Brandon Smith. He is actually my linebacker 3 right now. And then the Atlanta Falcons is our other pick. And man, I don't know. Like I was thinking Sky Moore available here, but he feels like he could be maybe more of a slot guy. And they kind of got Russell Gage, so like David Bell, but again, I didn't feel great about either of those options. Maybe go ahead. This is a very deep wide receiver free agency. Grab some guys there. Instead, I was aiming to potentially replace Caleb McGarry with Nicholas Petit Ferreira. Nicholas Petit Ferreira. I feel like I haven't said his name in so long, I forgot how to say it. But regardless, this is a cat that has played both left tackle and right tackle. You could also play him at guard early on if you want to play him at right guard. So you can do that. Then Green Bay Packers back on the clock. And this might be a bit interesting since we did go like, who did we go? Devontae Wyatt. But I thought the value was there. I thought it was a good value pick in Logan Hall, who hear me out, because he's a bit versatile. I think he could play on the outside as well. So it's like, this is a dude you can ask to, hey, go on the line, put your hand in the dirt. But I think you could also ask him to maybe like kick outside of the 5 tech. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sue, probably not back. You could always upgrade William Golston. So I grabbed Perion Winfrey, who measured out very well via Twitter. And he's by far one of the best pass rushing interior linemen, defensive interior linemen in this class. There we go. I like that he broke that 300-pound threshold, and I want to see if he could be better holding up against the run. But in terms of his pass rushing ability, it's beautiful. Bengals, I'm addressing the offensive line again. Yes, I am. I'm a big fan of Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. He played left tackle for Tulsa, likely more of a guard, probably in the NFL. You could give him a shot at tackle. I'm not going to lie. Because Trevor Penning, I don't think will be ready to play out the gates. Tyler Smith, I think, might be a different story. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they got a couple of corners that are free agents. So I went with Kobe Bryant, baby. This feels a bit early for him, but I really have a good feeling he might impress this week at the Senior Bowl. We will see. But because he was constantly challenged there because no one was throwing sauce his way. So Kobe Bryant, he looked good. 49ers, felt like I was reaching a bit, but I knew he wouldn't be available to the Niners any later than this, so I went with Darion Kendrick. Darion Kendrick is a good prospect. Everything needs to check out character-wise, so we won't really find that out till the combine, but dude was shutting people down. And then Denver Broncos, I didn't forget about you. You have the final pick here in the draft. Isn't that exciting that y'all get Aaron Rodgers and this 64th pick? Let's go ahead and get into it. All your linebackers are free agents, by the way. So I went Chad Muma. I think he's gonna really impress this week at the Senior Bowl. He's way more athletic than Logan Wilson was coming out of Wyoming, and I think he will show that this week. So we grabbed him. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.